Tourism plays a vital role in Kenya's economy and accounts for close to 10% of the country's GDP. The sector was one of the hardest hit by the post-election crisis in early 2008, but bounced strongly in 2009, with earnings rising to 62.46 billion Kenya shillings from 52.71 billion a year earlier, helped by a 30% rise in international arrivals.
KTB, together with in conjunction with the ministry and specifically in conjunction with the minister, did a lot of activities in the source markets. And again, some of the activities involved specific marketing campaigns involving the trade and involving the consumers.
The 2009 results resonate well with the country's strategic plan to recover the numbers of 2007, which remains Kenya's best performing year, with earnings at 65.4 billion shillings and arrivals topping 1 million.
The growth is phenomenal, but then it's also important to note that the goals that have been set by the government for 2012 are still onerous to achieve. I mean, you're talking about achieving arrivals of 3 million, and right now we're talking about 1 million. You're talking about achieving earnings of 200 billion. Now we're only talking about 65.4 billion. So still a way to go, but of course the recovery is phenomenal if you ask me.
Already, the Kenya Tourism Board has identified product diversification as key in enhancing its bottom line as it seeks to expand its market share.
And in here we're talking about things like conference tourism, we're talking about medical tourism, we're talking about cultural tourism, we're talking about sports tourism, so that we can be able to add numbers based on the traditional beach and wildlife safari, and then bring in more aspects of the product for us to be able to offer a diverse range of tourist products, and therefore looking at the Kenya as a spectrum, we're able to offer different tourism products depending again on the ground, what's on the ground.
The Vision 2030 economic blueprint identifies the growth of tourism as key to Kenya's potential of becoming a developed country within the next 2 decades, and the country has received considerable support from the European Union, which has been playing a huge role in growing Kenya's tourism potential.
In terms of budget, the ongoing portfolio of the European Union to support tourism is something around 600 million shillings that are currently devoted exclusively to the marketing.
Despite the impressive results, analysts are quick to point out to stakeholders in the sectors to address challenges which curtail the industry from competing with Egypt and South Africa, which are the leading long-haul tourist destinations on the continent.
There are a couple of challenges, but the government has, of course, been taking a couple of steps to sort that out. One of which is just the political situation. Of course, when there are any instabilities within the region or within the country, what happens is that that resonates. I mean, if you remember the post-election violence, there's still people who are afraid of coming to the country precisely because of that. So that's one of the things that has to be checked. The second thing is the quality of the facilities that we have. We have very good high-end facilities, but then there's a market that's missing out there because you have some facilities that have not been rated yet.
A recent UN World Tourism Organization report indicates that globally, international tourist arrivals fell by an estimated 4% in 2009 to 880 million, but should recover to grow by 3% and 4% in 2010, which is more encouraging for East Africa's largest economy.
We want to leverage our growth of 2009 by diversifying again the markets, so that instead of just focusing our efforts on the traditional source markets, we are also focusing on the emerging markets. When we talk about emerging markets, we'll be talking about the new countries like new source markets like Japan, which we talked about India, we talk about China, we talk about Australia in our perspective, and we talk about growth from the regional markets, those are the countries surrounding us, and of course from other African countries.
The government has taken measures. You're talking about visa fees being reduced by 50%, which is a positive measure. I mean, you're talking about them encouraging tourism by advertising more, putting more funding to the Kenya Tourism Board. So, I mean, there's a light at the end of the tunnel, but I think there's quite a bit more that needs to be done to be able to achieve those targets to set for 2012.
Moving forward, tourism will be a keenly watched sector and will continue to play a considerable contribution to Kenya's economy over time.